Uh, shall I start now?
Ma'am, couple of minutes, please.
Yeah, sure.
Good evening to all our students. Thank you so much for joining us.
Evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Yes, we've had to mute everybody so that we can proceed with the session. Welcome to your third virtual classroom session for your
One,
Yes,
I
ma'am.
think there are more in the waiting room. Let everybody join in. There are still more 730 people in the waiting room. Let everybody join in and then you start the session.
All right, ma'am. All right.
A couple of minutes more, yeah.
Good evening to all our students who have just joined us. We shall begin the program shortly.
Yes, madam. Yeah.
If you have any queries for us, like I said last time, please post it in the chat box and we would be happy to answer your queries. Thank you. Ma'am, with your permission, can I begin the program? Yes, I see a lot of participants have raised your hands. Kindly post your queries in the chat box. Due to paucity of time, we will not be able to unmute each of you.
You can start off. Siobhan, you can start the session.
All right. Good evening to all our SPOT qualifiers. Welcome to your third session of the SPOT virtual classrooms. Before we continue with our program, the few rules that we always ask you to keep in mind. I'm sure you're all familiar with the rules by now. This session would last for about an hour and a half. Please ensure that your microphones are always on mute except when unmuted by the host. Actively listen and participate in the session. This all of you have been following with full enthusiasm and we are so grateful for that. Questions from this session could be part of the SPOT final except for y'all, not for your level, but for the other students it will be. But either ways, we request you to be active listeners. And this is a humble request. I'm requesting you all to kindly refrain from posting the same messages in the chat box. If you have a query, please post it once. We do see every message, but if you keep posting it again, it becomes very difficult to scroll through all the messages and ensure that every question is answered. So kindly refrain from doodling or disrupting the session by posting comments in the chat box that are not related to the topic. Yes, so with this, I'd like to introduce you to our topic for today, which is geology and its impact on humankind. Now, the Earth's constituent materials and the processes that they undergo determine many aspects of human civilization. The planet's physical geology determines the natural resources available to a civilization, and therefore its impact is on human development, urban development, economies, and public health. So these gradual and sudden changes in a landscape affect the populations that inhabit it. So, for example, all of you know that the physical geology of a region is defined by the composition of the Earth's crust in that region. This, in turn, determines the resources that are available to people living in that region. So, this is how the geology of our Earth affects humankind. But it's also possible for us humans to have an impact on Earth's geology. And for that, I would like to introduce you to our keynote speaker for today, Dr. Meenal Mishra. She is the Professor of Geology, School of Sciences, Indira Gandhi National Open University, New Delhi. She was the first Indian women geoscientist to carry out geological fieldwork in Ladakh, Himalaya. She has specialization in petrology and geochemistry. After completing her PhD from Wadia Institute of Himalayan Geology, Dehradun, she joined the Department of Geology, University of Delhi as a research fellow in 1993. Thereafter, she joined the Jawaharlal Nehru University in 1994 as research associate, further continued as school officer, principal investigator in the DST Fast Track project and Scientist C in 2003. She worked as a lecturer at the School of Earth Sciences, Mizoram University for 4 years. I'm sorry, kindly.
ठीक है म्यूट हो गया ठीक है 1 मिनट रहो जब तक ये शेयर ना हो जाए
I'm sorry, there was an interruption. Professor Meenal Mishra joined as Associate Professor in Geology at the School of Sciences, IGNOU.
yes ma'am hello you're not audible madam
Ma'am, kindly mute your mic. I'm sorry. Gayatri, if you can please mute all participants.
okay
Sorry for the interruption. So like I was saying, Professor Mishra is involved in planning, designing, developing, delivery, and coordination of undergraduate, postgraduate, and doctoral courses and programs in geology. Her key areas of research are petrology and geochemistry. She has over 41 publications in journals, over 10 in book chapters, 15 conference proceedings, and over 12 articles in the popular science book section. It is an absolute honor to welcome you, ma'am, to our session for today. Over to you. Dr. Meenal, am I audible?
yeah and you're audible now can you hear me
Yes, ma'am.
can you hear me
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
okay
Yes.
thank you so much and first of all I wish to thank the organizers of this program from Vikram Sarabhai Science Foundation to giving me such an honor to interact with little children. And I'm so happy and so elevated. And it's, I can't express myself because always teaching bigger children and in higher classes, it is away from that monotonous to deal with the younger children and to apprise them about the importance of geology and how geology impacts our daily life. First of all, I will share my screen. Just 1 minute.
Sure, ma'am, no problem.
Is it shared now? My screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Is it shared?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I can see your screen.
So I put it on slide mode. So good morning. Okay, fine. So good evening, little children. And I am also a student like you. I am student of geology, and whatever little I know, I will just share with you. Geology is a very interesting branch of science, but because I think you are students of class 3, 4, and 5, so maybe many of you must not have heard this word geology. Have you heard, any one of you? What is geology? We will interact, and I think these children, they can unmute their mic and answer. Is it, madam?
Yes, ma'am. I would please raise your hand. And
can we be little interactive, madam?
Yes, sure. So we'll start with Devansh Chawla. Devansh, can you please unmute your mic? since your hand is raised.
Excuse me, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Devansh, tell us.
Ma'am, I have heard you. Ma'am, it means to study about the earth. Ma'am, how the lives on the earth existed before and how the lives changed to human. What are humans made of?
Ma'am, may I?
The study of
Ma'am, may I am Bharat?
Please repeat the question.
Ma'am, may I Bihan?
Sure, sure. 1 minute.
Ma'am, I have heard
Shall I?
about
Everybody,
Teacher
please.
heard of geology. Teacher heard of
I know all of you are extremely excited to answer, but like you heard, everybody unmuting on their own is going to be extremely disruptive. So can I please call out? You can raise your hand and I will call out your name and then you can answer. All right? Yes. Thank you, Devansh, for your answer. I will move on to Aradhya Bisa. Aradhya, would you like to answer? Yes. Please go ahead, Aradhya.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Aradhya.
Geology is the study of.
Yes, Aradhya. Unmute yourself and answer. How much?
I have unmuted.
Please go ahead, Aradhya. We can hear you.
You've heard of good. I think there is some problem with the mic.
Geology is the study of earth.
Okay, then there's some.
Thank you, Aradhya. Thank you. So Aradhya said that geology is the study of Earth.
Very good.
Okay, I
It's
will
the
move
study.
on
Most
to
of you know.
Vaidish Mohan.
Some connectivity problem look like, no? I see so many bright young faces. I'm so happy. Some connectivity problem is there, so I think I will
I would also
proceed
encourage all the
further.
participants to
So,
kindly post your
to
answers in the
start
chat
with,
box.
yeah. So today we will be talking about geology and its impact in our daily life. Fine. What do you see around yourself? Like you are inhabitant of planet Earth. What do you see around yourself? Land on which you are standing, then air, then water, and then life. Is it not? Just whatever I am saying, just think upon it. Wherever you are standing, you have a land beneath yourself, you have air, you have water, and then life. So many life forms are present, isn't it? So this earth, it is a kind of system. Understand? Earth is a kind of system where we have components like air, water, land, and life. Understand, children? So, uh, uh, in fact, this is known as Earth System Science. What we call it as Earth System Science. So the scientists, like Earth System scientists, they have identified uh, 4 spheres in the system which we call as Earth. All of you are inhabitants of Earth, but all these things like life, land, water, and air, they are the part of this earth. They are part. So these scientists, they have identified 4 systems. First one is atmosphere, then it is lithosphere, then the hydrosphere, and it is biosphere. You see this earth rotating in front of you? No. So atmosphere is what? Air. Lithosphere is what? Land. Lithos means rock. And rock is what? Land beneath you. That hard crust. The outer layer of the earth is known as crust. So that crust is beneath you. That is known as lithosphere. And then you see lot of water. How much earth is covered with water? It is around 3/4 of the earth is covered with water. So water can be in the form of ocean, it can be river, it can be lake, and it can be also locked up in form of glaciers. See, you see this earth rotating, you see these glaciers and the North Pole and South Pole, Antarctica and North Pole Arctic. So this is all the part of hydrosphere. Okay, then comes biosphere. Biosphere, by biosphere we mean what? Life. So that is known as biosphere. All the forms of life, right from algae, fungi, moss. You see little mosses growing on somewhere on the rocks and somewhere on the trees. Little plants which you can see with the help of microscope. Hand lenses. Those are all part of plant community. So all the forms of life in plants and animals, they are constituted as biosphere. So our earth is a system where you have all these four components, and scientists have classified them as spheres: atmosphere, lithosphere, hydrosphere and biosphere. So all these four spheres which we are talking, they are interacting with each other. They are continuously interacting with each other, and they are maintaining that delicate balance within each other, with each other. For example, how does atmosphere interact with biosphere? Just one example. If anybody wants to answer, they can raise their hands. Otherwise, let me explain you. You have seen plants. Plants are part of biosphere. And when they get sunlight in the presence of water, and they have chlorophyll, so they synthesize food, they make food in the presence of sunlight and water. So that is a beautiful example of interaction of atmosphere with biosphere. Okay, so like this, all the four spheres are interacting with each other. Shall I proceed next? So now I have told you about the four spheres of the earth. Now this term, earth science or earth system science, it is an umbrella term. In this earth science, we study about earth, we also study about universe, then space, then weather, climate, and then we study about all the non-living things like rocks, oceans, and planets. So it is a kind of umbrella term which incorporates or which includes so many aspects, right from weather, climate, rocks, oceans, and planets. Okay, it is umbrella term. Now, branches of earth science, they are astronomy, meteorology, oceanography, geology. These are the four branches. Just in very short, I will go through them one by one so that you people get an idea. These are the branches of earth science. Many times we use earth science very synonymously with geology, but geology is a component of earth science. Other three components or other three branches of earth science are astronomy, meteorology, oceanography, and geology. Any question from any children? Because I can see on my screen only by PPT, I can't see children. So if there is any question in the chat box, madam, please let me know.
Sure, ma'am. Ma'am, we address all the questions at the end of the session during our question and answer session.
Okay. So I move forward. So Sorry. Yeah. So these are the four branches of earth science. Now, first of all, I will tell you, children, what is this astronomy? Many of you must have heard about astronomy. So in astronomy, it is branch of earth science where we study the objects beyond Earth's atmosphere. Now, beyond Earth's atmosphere, what do you have? You have all the planets, you have the universe, and so many other components of the universe. So, we study about these objects in this astronomy. And you know, this astronomy, it is the oldest branch of earth science. Uh, you Google how old is astronomy, so they will say Galileo, but no, our Indian astronomy is oldest. For example, when you Google Surya Siddhant in Google, it will come to about 3 to 4th century BC, something like that. So even before Greeks studied about astronomy, we Indians knew much about the Earth and the motion of the sun and the motion of the other planetary objects. So it is the oldest branch, and in astronomy, like you see nowadays, some missions like Chandrayaan mission and Mangal mission. So our astronomers, they go on these. In many cases they go, but sometimes some robots are sent very different from Earth. Okay, their composition and many more things. You see, this is our solar system. All of you, little children, you must have heard and you must have learned about solar system in your geography classes. Okay. Now you see, all these 8 planets are moving around like this, but there is one orbit that is going across. This is cross-cutting all the other orbits. Now this is Pluto. Earlier, Pluto was part of solar system, but Pluto is out. So now you are being taught that our solar system, it comprises only 8 planets. From Sun, we start Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, and so on and so forth. Now you see this position of Earth. This is Sun. My pointer is there. Then you have Mercury, you have Venus, and this yellow, this white and blue colored planet going on the third around in this third position. This is Earth. You know, Earth, it is very unique. Earth is in the at the distance from the sun, so that we have all the three this water in all the 3 states. We get water as liquid, we get water as solid, we get water as gas or vapors. So this is a very peculiar thing about the position of the earth from the sun, so that our human race and other living beings can survive. First of all, because of its position from the sun, neither it's too hot nor it's too cold, and we get water in all the 3 states. So this was the part of astronomy. Now the second branch of earth science, that is meteorology. You must have heard in your televisions weather forecasts. I mean, it is snowing, there has to be a cyclone, there has to be a tornado, and the temperatures are rising, and all those things are being told in weather forecasts. Now, this is the again, meteorology is the branch of earth science where we study Earth's Earth's atmosphere. All these belts are there where different currents are warm current, hot current are flowing around this globe, and how they are changing the climate and how they are bringing change in our daily lives. So this is also part of Earth's Earth science. Okay, now the next one. Earth's atmosphere, it is divided into many layers. Many of you must have read, maybe children from class 5, they must have read these about these different layers of Earth's atmosphere. For little children, let me tell you, it is the blanket of gases that surrounds our planets. So there are different layers. Starting from below, this is troposphere. This is the densest layer of atmospheric layer, and Earth's weather happens here. Whatever clouds are generated here, everything. Then comes stratosphere. Now, this is best known as home of Earth's ozone. Okay, and this layer, it protects us from sun's harmful ultraviolet radiation. Then comes mesosphere. Mesosphere is located thermosphere. Now, thermosphere is beyond 80 kilometers till 700 kilometers, and it is the lowest part of ionosphere. Okay, then exosphere, the outermost layer. Exosphere is beyond 700 kilometers, and here at the top, this Earth's atmosphere, it merges with the solar wind. So these are the different layers of atmosphere, and each layer has got specific peculiarities and characteristics. So this was about Earth's atmosphere. Now, the third division or the third branch of Earth science is oceanography. You see this oceanographer, he's diving deep inside the earth, this sea, okay, and the oceanographers, they study about rocks and sediments that are present in the this down below the ocean, on the ocean floor, and they also study about the animals that are residing in the sea water, and these also about these planktons. See this, he's the famous oceanographer Jacques Cousteau, and he is just patting this little crab here. So oceanographers, they study the planktons and living beings, as well as they study the rocks and the sediments and the important mineral resources that are present inside the ocean. See how they study. Sometimes they have these cruises, big cruises and vessels. They are taken, and they immerse their own vessels and their own equipments, and they take readings. Sometimes it is something uh, like this. Now, you saw this echo sounder. It was beneath the ocean. You know, oceans are as deep as 10 kilometers, 10,000 meters. Mariana Trench in Pacific Ocean, it is about 10 kilometers deep. Okay, so these oceans, I mean, it is very interesting to study that these oceans have got huge mountain chains beneath them, mountain chains as huge, as high as 3 to 4 kilometers, and they are going right across huge oceans like Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean, Indian Ocean. So the study beneath the ocean is done with these echo sounders. It is scanning the ocean surface below. Okay, further we move ahead. Now you see this animation. It's a big vessel. These people, they are immersing different equipments inside this ocean so that they can take readings. Further, one more. They are immersing this huge machine so that they can take readings. Various studies can be done and various data is being recorded by these people. So these are very huge vessels. Now further, you must be wondering how these sediment samples and rock samples are taken. Just look at this robot. It's doing its job. You see how beautifully, with the help of its huge claws, it is cutting across this rock. And and you see this smoke, my pointer is moving here. This smoke is coming out. These are known as black smokers. They are located about 6-7 thousand meters deep inside the ocean. And these black smokers, they are huge resources, huge resources for various minerals like zinc, copper, lead, and so many other minerals. Okay, now you see how sampling these rocks from these black smokers. You see this chimney. These chimney are spitting huge black smoke, but lot of processes are going on there where you get these mineral resources treated. So it is taking the sample here, putting it inside the box. Okay, so this is how they do this sampling inside the ocean. Okay, further we go ahead. Now the fourth topic, it is known as the fourth branch of earth science is known as geology. So we are going to study about very basic aspects of geology. Because you are a beginner, I will not take you into very detail or very big terms. We will talk at at the level at which you can understand, because otherwise if I speak very big words, you will not able to understand. So now, what is geology? Geology is also a branch of earth science wherein we study about earth, its history, how earth formed, how the earth originated, and its composition. What is earth composed of? Its internal structure. Then you see earth is undergoing changes. It has undergone many changes in the past, and still it is undergoing change. है ना? See, these changes are not, you cannot see these changes in your lifetime. These changes, they happen over million of years. But geologist is a person who studies about the earth's history. He studies, or he or she studies about the earth history that happened million of years back. Geology is I can give you an analogy. A murder has taken place or a crime has taken place. Now, with the help of all those evidences, weapons, like some I mean things left at the spot of the crime, a geologist also looks at those evidences present on the earth and unravels what happened in the past, and how and the person also relates it is happening even today. A very famous theory in geology is that present is the key to the past. Whatever processes are happening today were happening in the past also. So geology deals with the history of the earth, its composition, its internal structure, the changes that are happening and that have happened in the geological past. So geo means what? Geo, the word geo is taken from ancestral earth. In Greek, we call it as Gagia, G-A-G-I-A, Gagia. That is earth goddess. And logi means knowledge. So the knowledge of our mother earth, that is known as geology. And this is all we study in this geology. And the person who practices geology is known as geologist. And this person, he or she is trained to understand what are the processes that are that play a beneficial role in the life of mankind, and how things could be useful to mankind, and how it impacts our lives. And it also, and the person also studies Earth's environment and natural resources. This geology, it is a kind of integrative science. See, you people are too young. Maybe you must have heard about subjects like chemistry, biology, physics, and mathematics. So, geology, it integrates or it combines all these subjects. Next time, see how this person is opening up this pebble. This person has got a pebble in his hand, and this person is opening this. He's broken the pebble and he's opening. You see that fossil, that round thing? That is a fossil. Fossil is the remain of the living thing that was present in our geological past. You can see that round, that is a molluscan shell. You must have seen these snails. These snails belong to this family of this fossil, and you can see that coiled thing. That is a fossil. So this person, he is studying this fossil. Now, in geology, if you have to study a fossil, you have to integrate biology and geology. It is life, but this life was in the past, in the geological past. So you are integrating. Likewise, we integrate physics. How we integrate physics? Like when you study about earthquakes. So in geology, earthquake is there. So a branch is known as geophysics, where we integrate geology and physics, and then we study this earthquakes, because in earthquake you talk about various laws of physics. So like this, geology integrates all the basic sciences, including computational sciences. Okay. So yeah, just yeah, next slide. What tools we have. For a geologist, you have tools like, for a geologist, you have tools like hammer. Hammer is a equipment for geologists. Then you have a little clinometer where you can see how the bed is bending, in what way it is bending. Then there are some maps, topographical maps. Then you have some geological map, and then hand lens. So these are the basic equipments for a geologist. Here they are on the screen. Hammer, and then lenses. This is clinometer, compass. Then nowadays you have GPS also. GPS, that is global positioning system, wherein you can accurately measure your position. Then you have field bag, then you have tape, measuring tape, then you have a notebook, and then camera, and also a first aid box. These are the equipments and the necessary items for geologists. So we study all these things in the field, but we also take the samples to the lab. We make some thin section of these rocks, and this is a special kind of microscope which studies the thin section of rocks. You must have heard about biological microscope, but this microscope, it studies, it helps you in studying the rocks. And you see scientist, he's a professor from Delhi University. He's looking in this microscope, and this camera is capturing, and then it is being transferred to the this computer, and it is displayed on the screen. You can see this texture here.
Ma'am, I'm
Okay.
sorry, but we're unable to see your screen. We're unable to see the presentation. We can hear you clearly.
You're not able to see my screen.
No, not when you started describing the tools that geologists use.
Shall I? Okay, so I think I will again upload it. Fine.
All right, ma'am.
Or just 1 minute.
Sure, ma'am.
Just 1 minute. I don't know what is this technical glitch going on. Yeah. Now can you see? Can you see now?
It's a blank screen,
Hello?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's just blank. It says you've
Hmm?
started sharing, but it's just
Pardon?
blank.
Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
From tools, na? Okay, I'll just hurry up with this thing. Yeah, you're audible. So these are the tools. Can you hear? Can you see this on the screen, madam?
No, ma'am. We still can't see it.
I don't know what is going wrong. I'm so sorry for this.
No problem at all, ma'am. We completely understand. We can't control technology beyond a point.
Now can you see? Yeah. I'm so sorry for that. Now can you see, madam?
Um,
Can
not
you
yet.
see?
No, ma'am. It's still a blank screen. Are you covering it by any chance? It's just a black screen. You are sharing it, but it's still black. Could you go back to your previous slides just so that we can check
Yeah.
before the
Yeah.
tools to see if it's working?
Now can you?
No, ma'am. It's still not
Yeah,
visible.
before the tools.
No, ma'am. We can't see it.
Okay, so I think again I will. It's in my Google Drive. So again I've closed it. Again I will.
Maybe that's why it's not visible, ma'am. Or you could just continue describing the tools, ma'am, and then the students
Yeah.
can pose your questions. That also works fine.
Okay. Oh, okay. Fine. Just 1 minute. I'm trying.
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah. Now is it visible? Is it visible now?
No, ma'am.
Because
It's still a blank
because
screen.
it is showing sharing. So I
Yes,
don't
ma'am.
know.
You are sharing the screen, but it's just showing blank. Nothing is. We can't see the presentation.
I'm so sorry for that.
No
Anyway, I'll
problem at all.
continue
Yes,
because
ma'am. I think you can continue, and in our question and answer session, I'm sure the students would be able to
because
clarify their doubts.
yeah, I'll just continue. So yes, so yeah, I was actually I had very interesting things to show them, but I don't know. Okay, fine then. So children, for geologists, after bringing the samples to the lab, we use this kind of microscope. Unfortunately, you were not able to see. Okay. So nature is our lab. For geologists, nature is the lab because all the phenomena that are taking place, we cannot study geology in a closed lab like chemistry people do. It is an open lab. Okay. I just want to share with you my experiences with geology. I was also a student like you till 12th standard. I was studying all the other conventional subjects and I was unaware of geology. But I was staying like I was located at Dehradun. It is in Uttarakhand at that time. So there are mountains, Shivaliks, and then Lesser Himalaya, and then Masuri Hills, and all these mountains used to really fascinate me. And from the childhood, I was very much curious to know what are the hidden treasures or hidden mysteries in these mountains. So when I came to my graduation, I chose geology as one of the subject. At that time, that was in 1984, there was not many females in this field, and they were in fact discouraged because in geology we go for field work in very tough terrains. So anyway, I took geology in my graduation. Then when it came to post graduation, again I wanted to pursue my higher studies in geology. And my father, he was scientist, life scientist. He wanted, as all the parents would like to do for their children. They want their children to take the career which they are in. So he was very much this thing that I should take geology, this life science as my subject for higher studies. But then I was so adamant. I took geology, and when I did after my this post graduation, I was keen to do PhD also because uh, I wanted to become a scientist like my father was. So I joined Vardia Institute of Himalayan Geology. It is the only geology institute that is located in the country, Vardia Institute of Himalayan Geology. If you Google, you will get it. So I was asked by my supervisor to work in Ladakh, Himalaya. Ladakh, Himalaya is the northernmost part of Jammu Kashmir state, and it has I worked in about the areas with average height of 4,000 meters. It is an inhospitable terrain with the rarity of oxygen. You walk four steps, you walk a little bit, and then you have to pause to take breathe. You cannot keep on walking like you can do in Kochi or in some plain areas. So it is a sort of tough terrain like this. I wish I could have shared these photographs. Madam Abibi, you cannot see now.
Oh, ma'am, we can't, we still can't see it. It is very unfortunate.
Oh
I'm
my
sure
God.
all of us would have loved to, sort of go back in memory lane and share these experiences with you.
Yeah, yeah. Can can I still try once to
Sure.
download it and send
Yes,
you?
ma'am. Yes,
Just
ma'am. Please, I would love to share it
so
if you can send it to
in the
me.
meantime, I just talk to students about other things. Please send message your email ID. In
Sure,
the
ma'am.
meantime, I just talk to students. Uh,
All
just
right,
one
ma'am.
minute.
Definitely.
Yeah. Send me your email ID.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, have you sent, madam?
Yes, ma'am. I've sent it to you via text message.
Okay, fine. Yeah, I have got it.
Yes, students, I have been noticing your questions in the chat box. It's a humble request to ensure that the questions are based on the topic for today, which is geology. I know a lot of you have interest in astronomy and other fields of science, but since our topic today is for geology, kindly ensure that your questions are related to geology and its impact on humankind.
Yeah, I have.
Sure,
You
ma'am.
will receive it anyway. Till the time you receive it, I continue. So,
Yes.
yeah. So, children, I just want to tell you, you pursue your passion, like do the work about which you are passionate about. Because if you pursue your passion, you will never feel as if you are working or doing some work. You will treat your job as a hobby. Understand? It's fine, parents tell you do that, do this, but you just sit back and ask yourself what you want to do, what you will be comfortable in which subject you will excel in. Okay, because the if you take a subject which you are passionate about, you are very well emotionally and mentally and physically strong to do good in that subject. So like this, I know at that time in 1987, maybe that was I think it is 40 years back or what. So at that time, it was very difficult to ask your daughter to go to the field. In fact, I should thank my parents. They had so much of faith, and they respected my decision. They allowed me to go to Ladakh and continue with my field work. Madam, I have shared. You will get it soon, so that I will stop sharing. Okay?
Yes, ma'am. Please stop sharing so that I can share my screen because I've
Yeah,
received it.
I have stopped sharing. Yeah. So that's what the this is what the message I want to give to you people, that pursue your career and pursue your passion, and always you should think about your goal with a positive energy. Yes, I will be able to do it, and keep that fire ignited within you, because that fire will help you to fetch you your goal. That will take care of your weaknesses, and that will give you that strength. So keep that fire ignited within you. Okay. So I mean,
Mm,
that was that was the message I wanted to give it to you, and till the time it is shared.
Oh,
So
ma'am, it is being
uh,
shared. I am sharing my screen. So I hope
mhm,
you can see it. Gayatri, Suhasini,
fine.
are you able to see my screen?
No, I cannot see it. I'm not able to see. I'll continue with my own PPT. Okay.
Ma'am, if you could tell me, okay, ma'am, the participants are able to see the PPT which I've shared. I've downloaded the PPT that you've sent it to me.
Okay. Oh,
So
and it doesn't matter. I think you come to the slide number 23, and I will continue. Okay. I will
oh,
keep on operating from here, and you keep on sharing so that children can see.
all right, ma'am. Could you tell
Uh,
me the title of the slide?
Slide number 23. Slide number 23, Ladakh Himalaya 23.
Yes, ma'am. The average height 4,000 meters. Yes, that is the slide I'm presenting.
Yeah. So this is this. Yeah. So children, this was the area wherein I was talking about, wherein I did my PhD. Now, slide number 24.
Yes, ma'am. 24.
So this is how see how inhospitable this Ladakh Himalaya is. It is a cold desert. You don't see any vegetation, and this area is covered with snow throughout the year. Only in the month from end of June to the first week of September, we can go there and do our field work. And wherever there is river, one slide is there down below on your right side. Wherever there is river, you can see vegetation only along that channel. Otherwise, you don't get any vegetation. All these mountains are barren. Maybe some of you must have gone for tourism purpose with your parents. So this was the area where I started my work in 87, then 88, 89, 91, and 92. And 4 or 5 times I went to the field. I Please come to the slide number 27. And this
Yes.
is how I stayed in the field. We don't have any hotels or any houses around. We had these little tents. We took these little tents along with us from Dehradun, and this is me sitting inside. And we used to pitch these tents ourselves. So I stayed alive for like this for 2 months each year, doing my geological mapping and collecting samples. Next slide, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, this was my group. So this was how we carried the samples with us from Dehradun, and it took 7 days to reach there. This is me standing here with the arrow. There is a red arrow. So this is me and my colleagues. So we were dropped in our areas, respective areas, and we used to carry our field work all alone. Next slide, please. So this is how I had a very adventurous life. There were very fast flowing rivers. Wherever we used to cross the river, there were no bridges. And I used to take this yak. You have these yaks there and cross these high flowing rivers. And then next slide, please. So this is me and in this inhospitable terrain of Ladakh, Himalaya. So this was all about me, and still feel very happy that I had taken geology. I have traveled length and breadth of the country, done field work in many areas of India. So this was all about me. Now we come to branches of geology. I was telling you that all the basic sciences like physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, they are all integrated with geology. Okay. Now next slide, please, because I think I have only half an hour. So now let us come to the topic. How does geology impact our life with all this background? Today I will talk only about three topics. There are many topics in which we can discuss, like how geology impacts our life, natural resources, water resources, power resources, engineering projects, natural disaster management, sustainable agriculture, origin and evolution of life. But we don't have much time. Maybe in some day else, we will discuss about other things. Today, I talk about natural resources, water resources, and evolution of life. Okay. Otherwise, in power generation, also geologists have role in engineering projects like you have dams, tunnels, highways, bridges. Everywhere, geologists are consulted. You have this what project, Char Dham project. So many geologists are involved there. All these national highways, geologists are there. Then natural disaster management, all these are geologists have a great role to play. Next slide, please. Now when we talk about natural resources, we talk about minerals, rocks, and soils. Many of you must have heard about minerals, rocks, and soil. In layman's term, you say rocks and minerals, you say stone. But being a geologist, we say rock or a mineral. And soil is also a natural resource. So now the next slide, please. Let me come to these minerals. See, these minerals, they are very colorful. And uh, when you define mineral, it is a naturally occurring substance, and it has a very and it has a fixed chemical composition. Okay, it is naturally occurring and it has fixed chemical composition. And there are so many minerals, like 4,000 minerals occurring on the surface of the earth. 4,000 minerals have been reported. Next slide, please. Uh, Let me name a mineral which all of you are using, common salt. Can you imagine your life without salt? No, na? When your mother serves food many times, I mean, sometimes if she forgets to put in salt, the food is, I mean, you don't feel like eating because it is tasteless. So see how important these minerals are. Okay, so common salt you get as in mountains also. Now this mountain is in Pakistan, where you get this common salt. In Hindi we say Sendha Namak, that rock salt. And you also get salt in these sea waters, and all that salt that is brought down by the rivers, and it is being deposited in these sea basins. So you get common salt. You see, on your right, it has got a fixed chemical composition. Chloride and sodium ion is there. Next slide, please. Now we come to another term which we say rock. Now this rock, it is amalgamation or it is aggregation of many minerals. Like you see, this is a granite. Granite is very common, children. You must have seen granite in your kitchen slabs. You must have gone to some restaurant. Restaurant tabletops are granite and some floors are granite. So it looks like this, and you have got many minerals. These patches. You can see these patches. These are all different minerals like quartz, hornblende, feldspar. So these feldspar, hornblende, quartz, they are all minerals. So a rock is constituted of many minerals. Okay. So this is the difference between rock and a mineral. Another cartoon to show you a difference between rock and a mineral. Next slide, please. Here you see this element. Element, so maybe some of you must have heard element. Like this mineral quartz, it is composed of two elements, silicon and oxygen. And many elements together, they constitute mineral. Okay. And many mineral together, they constitute a rock. Understand? So a rock is constituted of many minerals and minerals are constituted of elements. So this is the relation between different elements and the rock. Like minerals are naturally occurring, rocks are also naturally occurring. Minerals have fixed chemical composition, but rocks have got many minerals. Okay, next slide, please. Now, let me come to this slide. Now you see how minerals are used in our daily life. Paint industry, it uses minerals like many minerals comprised of sulfur, arsenic. They are used in paint industry. Then mica. Mica is a mineral you must have seen on holy colors. Holy colors, sometimes there is a mineral which is sparkling, shining, transparent. That is mica. So this mica is used as insulator in your iron. This steam iron which you iron your clothes. Mica sheet is there as insulator, and in other electric appliances also it is used as insulator. Then ceramics, tiles and then ceramics, your cups, plates, these silicon, silica sand, and then clay and feldspar. All these minerals are used in cosmetic. I will talk to about cosmetic just further. And then abrasive. Abrasive is a term which is used for a mineral which cuts another mineral. Like diamond cuts a glass, no? So diamond is abrasive. Even other minerals can be abrasive. Any mineral which is harder and which cuts the other uh, uh, material, it is known as abrasive. Next slide, please. Now we come to metals. How these minerals they are used in this metal industry. You know, metals, they form economy of India. This mining and metallurgy, it forms a great portion of economy. It contributes to great portion of Indian economy of India. Now you see these metals on your screen. This there is one rock on the top that is reddish brownish. This is known as bauxite, and from this rock, or this is a mineral, we extract aluminum. And aluminum, you can see, it is used in making doors. You see these door pans, doors, and these shutters, aluminum. Children must have heard about aluminum. So it is used in various ways. Then gold. You see this shining gold. It occurs with this rock here. So this gold is used for jewelry and many other things. Okay. And then further, this copper. This is a mineral known as chalcopyrite. I've kept a coin. We geologists, we use coin or pen as a scale. Okay, so this is copper. And from this chalcopyrite mineral, which you are seeing on the screen, copper is extracted. You see, we use copper for making utensil, these wires. Then similarly for iron, this rock here, reddish brownish rock, this is hematite mineral. And we make these bridges and these doors, iron doors, and these grills, all this, and so many other things you can name. You can afterwards Google and find out where iron is used, where copper is used. Okay, so this is how we use. Now, next slide, please. Now, another very interesting usage of minerals is cosmetic industry. You know, we are using different cream. All these cream bases are made of mineral like this kaolinite. Kaolinite is a kind of clay. Clay, that kaolinite that is used to make cream bases. Then talcum powder, your powder, they are all used by, they are all manufactured by crushing that mineral which is known as talc. Then above that, actually I can't use a pointer here, na? So I just tell you this mineral which you can see on the top, on your right top. This is mica. Mica is used as glitter in your lipsticks. Okay, then you see this sulfur yellow thing. It is also used in cosmetics. And then below that, with a brush and titanium oxide, it is used in foundations and lipsticks. So in cosmetic industry, we use these minerals massively. Now next. Now children, just go to your kitchen today. When you go back from this class, you just see how minerals are used in your kitchen. See your slab, this kitchen slab. Here you see this black slab. It is made up of rock known as granite. Then all these cookwares, these utensils, they are all made up of metals like aluminum. Then you see these colorful cups. They are all ceramics made from silica sand and kaolinite. And then these plastics, these plastic items you see on this shelf, shelf, and this glass also. These are all made. These plastics are made from a byproduct of petroleum. You know, plastics are the byproduct of petroleum. So this also comes from the earth. Geology plays an important role. Okay, and in your glass pans and your these mirrors, you use silica sand, you use this kaolinite, and then gypsum and minerals like this. Okay, now the next slide. Very interesting, this slide number 43. You see, all of you must be using mobiles. Now, these mobiles, they are using so many minerals like tetrahydride, then silicon, then arsenopyrite, wolframite. They say about 15, 16 minerals are used in this mobile. In display, you use this glass screen. Then you have these uh, layers of tin oxide in display, then gallium, then sphalerite in display, then in electronic and this other things in the mobile, you have chalcopyrite, tetrahydrite. So many minerals are used in your mobile. Is it not interesting? The next slide, please. These are gemstones. You must have seen your mothers and sisters and your friends and you yourselves using these gemstones. Many times you use as a ring or as jewelry. So fascinating these gemstones are. They are all extracted from Mother Earth. You know, Mother Earth has got such a huge treasure for all of us. Okay, but man unfortunately is exploiting everything so indiscriminately that it will be very difficult become it will become very difficult for future generations to sustain life, because water resources are depleting. Water is also a resource which is the domain of geologists, and all these minerals, metals. So all these resources are depleting very fast. So yeah, I was talking about gemstone. You see this jewelry, you can see this hand with the beautiful bracelet and a ring. This is ruby, and you see these pendants here. So these are all gemstones which you get from mostly metamorphic rocks. In Kochi, Kerala, mostly these metamorphic rocks are exposed. So many minerals like you get there sapphire and so many other minerals you get in all these localities. In Odisha also you get garnet. So this was all about gemstone. And yeah, next slide 45. Next slide please. So this is how you get gemstone. You see on the right topmost, these are all diamonds you get in the field. This is how you get gemstones from inside the earth. You see such big, big crystals also you get inside. And afterwards, they are taken up by, they are purchased by jewelers. And these jewelers, they shape these gemstones and they are used in jewelry. Okay. I think you must be finding it fascinating. Now, the next slide, please. Now we come to another very important resource which impacts our daily life. This is water cycle. You must have read about water cycle in your textbooks and all about these terms like water cycle, then evaporation, condensation, precipitation, and these entire cycle. But this without this entire cycle, it would not have been possible for us to stay on this planet, because I told you in all the three forms the water occurs. That's why this planet, it sustains life. The next slide please. Now please play this video. Okay, now you see this pond here. This pond here you can see how this pond is there, and it is surrounded by all trees, And water is very useful for all cattle, all animals, and we human beings do our washing, clothes, utensils, and for irrigating our fields. So I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, I hope all of you know the importance of water in our life. But water is being exploited so harshly that they say after in many cities in India, water is only till 2025 if we don't, if we don't uh, realize and if we don't stop wasting this water. Okay, the next slide, please. Please play this one. See this. This is river. River is flowing, and all of you know that uh, you must have seen this river in any part. You must have gone with your uh, friends or your uh, um, parents. You must have seen a river, how it is flowing, and how on both sides of river you have cities flourishing, and I mean, so many activities are going on, you know. The next slide, please. So please play this one also. So children, without water, this is paddy field. Without water, life would not have been possible, because these uh, I mean these crops, they need water and sunlight to grow. And food is so important for our sustenance. Without food we cannot survive. Okay, so I think with this you can understand the importance of water in our life. Okay, it is used for to grow our food, for washing, and for our cattle and so many other things. The next slide, please, 50th. Please play this slide.
I'm unable to play the video because I don't have permission to play it
Okay,
since
okay,
it's in
fine.
your Google Drive.
Yeah, I understand. Doesn't matter. So, children, water is also important for electricity generation, because when we build dams, and the water, when it is released through this channel, and it strikes the turbine below, the huge turbine, it moves around and it generates electricity. And all of you know the importance of electricity in our homes. Okay, so it was interesting video, but doesn't matter. Now next slide we come to. We get minerals like or we get rocks like coal from Mother Earth. You can see on your screens there is open cast mine of coal, and this coal is being mined. Okay, now this coal is also important. This is also used for domestic purposes in many parts of the country. And coal, the next slide please. The coal is taken through, if you want you can play this one if it is permits. The coal is taken through these wagons and these railway coaches to different places, and we have many thermal power plants across the country, and this coal is dumped there. And next slide please. These thermal power plants, they use these coal for electricity generation. I hope some of you must have seen these thermal power plants. So coal is used in electricity generation, and the importance of electricity in our life. This coal was formed million of years back when the vegetal matter, it was buried inside the earth, and it was buried there for million of years, and slowly that vegetal matter, it was converted to coal. So it is also very important impact of geology in our daily life. Now next. slide number 54. Next one is oil field or petroleum. Now, petroleum, I don't think so that I need to tell you how important is petroleum in our life. Petroleum you get from earth. Mother Earth provides you petroleum too. Here you can see there is some petroleum seepage in a river in Assam, and petroleum you get deep buried inside the rocks. It is present within the rocks, and they do drilling. They put this rig, huge structure on the top of this ground is a rig, and they drill it and they pump this petroleum out. Okay, and you know how this petroleum was formed. Petroleum was also formed by this huge vegetal and plant and animal remains. They were buried, and microbial decomposition or decay took place, and these vegetable and plant and animal matter, it was converted to petroleum, which we are using today. And next slide, please. Madam, if you want, you please play this slide because children will like it. See,
Ma'am,
children.
I'm unable to play any of the videos because it's in
Okay,
your
okay,
Google Drive.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So anyway, this it is crude oil, and this is how it is pumped from these this when the drilling is done, it is pumped out. Okay, and it is very thick and viscous and black in color. And when they process this petroleum, you get petrol, diesel, CNG, LPG, and also the plastic is byproduct of this petroleum. LPG is used in your homes for cooking, like you must have seen your mother cooking using this LPG. So this is what it is. Now, I'll take 5-6 minutes more. Now, the next important thing, how this geology impacts our daily life. Since you children, you are fascinated by dinosaurs. So I thought it will be very interesting to tell you how we geologists, we study about past life. See, the life has evolved through the geological time scale, through ages. They say life came on Earth about 3,400 million years back. And on your left side, on the top, it is a primitive form of life in form of cyanobacteria and algae. You see now it is converted to rock. It is all rock. Okay. Then slowly it evolved to trilobite. We call this. It looks like cockroach. No, it is. It's not cockroach. It is trilobite, primitive form of life. Okay. Then slowly it evolved to some molluscan shell. Go towards your right. These are this curved thing, fossils. They are all mollusks. They are all preserved as rocks. And all these structures, microstructures, and their morphology is preserved in the rocks. Again, you come down. Again, you see here on your left cephalopod. It is coiled structure. Then you see fish fossil. Then you see this lizard fossil. You see how this past life evolved from stromatolites or cyanobacteria to this lizard. So this happened in our time scale, geological time scale, and different events were there according to which we have named our time scale. Okay, next slide, please. Now, 66 uh, million years back, 66, see, life evolved 3,400 million years back. But 66 million years back, we got on our earth these fossils known as these creatures, huge creatures known as dinosaurs. But today we get their fossils, we get their bones, we get their eggs. Okay. And in many places in India, like one place I remember in Gandhinagar in Dora Park, they have preserved these eggs. The entire hatchery is being preserved there. So these huge dinosaurs, they were weighing about more than 20, 30, 100 kilograms. Okay. And they had height more than three-storied building, and they were huge, massive creatures. Huge, massive creatures, which you can imagine how huge they were. So they moved on this earth. But then what happened after 66 million years? There are two views of scientists. Some say that a huge meteorite, meteorite, it comes from the outer space and it falls on the earth. Must have heard. So huge meteorite, it came and it fell on the earth. And what happened? There was upheaval. The entire earth was disturbed. And when the earth was disturbed, these dinosaurs, they were not able to move because they had to move for their food. Most of them, they were vegetarians. There were earlier there were huge grasslands, but then because of this meteoritic impact, there was disturbance and they couldn't move. And due to the paucity of food, they were not able to get food and they died. They died, and we get their fossils and other things. And yes, and another theory says that at 66 million years, there was huge volcanism, and the remains of that volcanism that happened is preserved in Mahabaleshwar, in Bombay, Goa, and in Mandala, Jabalpur, and in Gujarat, at many places, and in Andhra Pradesh. That lava, that volcanic, this a lot of lava, it came out of the volcano and it spread in a very wide area. Okay, so because it spread in very wide area, and there a lot of uh, lava came out and poisonous fumes came out. So these dinosaurs, they died. So there are two theories. And after that, there were spells of ice age. Ice age came on the earth. All the earth was covered with ice. So these woolly mammoths, they were evolved, but they didn't stay long because then ice age finished and then man came. Evolution of man took place. So all this knowledge about life and evolution of man, it comes from the knowledge of geology. So this is how geology impacts our daily life. And thank you so much. And before finishing, I just want to summarize what we discussed today. We discussed about various domains of earth science, and then we discussed how geology impacts our life, about different mineral resources, and about water resources, and about the evolution of life that the geologists study. On the screen, what you see, they are pieces of slate, and they are used as decoration pieces, and some paintings have been made. Okay, with the permission of madam, if you give me 5 minutes more, I've got a. Okay. This also you won't be able to play. This it was a very interesting movie, 3-4 minutes movie, but then again you won't be able to play this now. This was given award in this during fifth international film festival. Anyway, thank you so much. Uh, so this was all, and again, I'm so sorry for this technical glitch. And with lot of pains and lot of enthusiasm, I had prepared this PPT so that I could show many things to children, but unfortunately, all went wrong. I don't know from what happened. Anyway, thank you so much.
Thank you
Any
so much.
questions?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for running us through such a beautiful presentation. It was so obvious, your passion came through leaps and bounds, how passionate you were about earth sciences right from a very young age. And it's extremely impressive and encouraging to know how you pursued your passion. Like you said, your father sort of wanted you to follow his footsteps, but you stood your ground and you ultimately became who you are, the first Indian woman, right? So that's
Yeah,
fantastic.
yeah.
We're really happy to have you
Thank
with
you so
us.
much.
And I'm
Thank
sure our
you.
children love how you put in so much of information about how important geology is for us. Because some of us, when we think of geology, you think of, okay, it's rocks, like you said, a stone or a rock, right? But when
Yeah,
you ran us through the practical applications of how we use it literally from the time we wake up to go to sleep, this and even for aesthetic purposes also, how important
yeah,
geology is and
yeah,
the repercussions it has on us when we tend to misuse it or exploit it. So
yeah,
that was fantastic. Thank you
yeah,
so
yeah.
much, ma'am. We will move on to the question.
Thank you so much.
We will move on to the question and answer session. We don't have much time, so I'll just pick a few
Yeah,
questions. One of the questions
sure.
is from Yashvi Jain. Yashvi Jain, if you could kindly unmute yourself. Yashvi. All right, ma'am, I'll just read out her question. Her question is, the land on what we stand is one part of the solid crust on the surface of the earth.
Ma'am?
This, yes, Yashvi, have you unmuted yourself?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, it wasn't unmuted. Ma'am,
Okay, please pose your question.
as per my knowledge, the land on we stand on is one part of the solid crust on the surface of the earth. The land above sea level consists how much of the percent totals, Earth's totals, which is called the continental crust?
See, this is very interesting question, Yashvi. See, the entire Earth is Earth is divided into three layers: crust, mantle, and core. Crust you have on the continents, as well as you have the crust on the the earth on which we are standing. So, water is three-fourth of the land or the earth is covered with water. So, three-fourth of our Earth's surface is having that oceanic crust that is only 15 kilometers in thickness, and continental crust that is about 30 to 35 kilometer in thickness. So continental crust is thicker than the ocean crust, but whether it is a continent or it is an ocean, the entire earth is having the outer cover that is known as crust. I hope I could understand your question and satisfy you. If not, please again you can ask. Yashvi?
Thank you, ma'am. I think you answered her question. We'll move on to our next question. Our next question is from Nikhilan V. Nikhilan, can you please introduce yourself and your school and pose your question?
Yes, ma'am. I'm Nikhilan V of 4D and I'm from Bangalore. I study in Global City International School and uh, my question is why the core of the earth is yellow in color and the mantle is orange in color?
Okay, Nikhil. Actually, nobody has seen the color of the core or the mantle. It is we have given our own colors. Otherwise, this core is comprised of, it consists of nickel and iron. It should not be yellow, it should be black, is it not? These are the colors which we visualize and we give them. But this solid core, that is nickel and chromium, and it is iron. Okay, and this mantle we give this orange color, Because mantle is semi-molten. The rock you get there is in molten form. So always you portray some like a molten thing in orange, na? So इसलिए you get we give this orange color to this mantle because it is molten. It is semi solid or molten, and this molten material of the mantle, it comes out on the crust through the cracks which we call as lava, or we through these volcanoes. You must have heard about this Tonga volcanism, है ना? Are you happy with the answer, Nikhil?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Mhm.
Nikhil. Thank you, ma'am. And
Best
we move
wishes.
on to our last question. Because of paucity of time, we are taking only 3 questions for today. Madhav Mohan Bhatta, can you please unmute your mic and pose your question?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Ma'am, how does geology impact in human's life?
Yeah, human life. Today I discussed, beta, this geology. Right from the time you get up in the morning till the time you go to the sleep, it is all geology. When you get up, first thing what you do is what you do. You put on your slippers. Your slippers are made up of plastic. It comes from earth. Then you go to the washroom. All the things in the washroom, from your mirror to your sanitary wares to your toothbrush, toothpaste, all is geology. Your toothbrush is having plastic, and your mirrors are having the material from the earth, that is silica sand and clay minerals. And then your toothpaste, it is having fluoride. So it is all geology. Then you go and have water, again geology. Then you come to your, suppose you come to your online class, your laptop. Lot of minerals are used in this laptop and computers and mobiles. So wherever you see, just try to just sit back and think and integrate in yourself how geology is coming in your life again and again. Geology is not away. The surface on which you are standing, it's all geology, is it not? So you just have to think back. I have made 2 educational videos. They are uploaded on the YouTube. Just Google, write geology around us, Meenal Mishra, IGNU. You will get 2 videos. So I have described this various aspects of geology in those 2 videos. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So
Thank you.
next.
Thank you, Madhav, and thank you, ma'am. That brings us to the end of our question and answer session. Please let us know what you thought of today's program. You can ask your parents to, comment on review us on Google, comment on our Facebook page. You can pose more questions that you have, share your thoughts and your opinions on the topics that we've been discussing. Ma'am, thank you so much. It was an absolute honor. Thank you for sharing your
Yeah,
passion with
yeah,
us. And we were so inspired. Even the pictures that you shared of your own experiences, that was something that we could all reminisce with you. Thank you so much for joining us today,
thank you.
ma'am.
Thank you, and I'm again so sorry for this technical glitch. 3 laptops are lying around, but I don't know what is going wrong with each. And it was a different kind of experience for me, because I have been teaching big children to teach little children. It was a kind of new experience for me. And again, I thank the organizers, and I look forward to more sessions in future. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. Thank you.
You're most welcome, ma'am. And no problem. We understand that we can't, control technology after a certain point. But I'm glad we could have this
I don't
session.
know. Yeah,
Students,
yeah, at least.
yes. So students, our next session, which is your 4th session, will be on the 19th of February from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. And your topic for the next session is entitled Medical Science, and Dr. John Abraham will be the key resource person for that session. All right. So thank you so much for joining us today, and we will see you on the 19th of February at 11 a.m. Thank you and have a good evening.